I'll look at you. Simon McQuoid, director of Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Basic question. Now that Mortal Kombat's been released
Yeah.
and received by the fans, what was your reaction to the reaction and how it was perceived by the fandom?
I was happy. I think there's things that I know um, we're going to do bigger and better in the sequel. I'm excited by that, but I was happy that the whole time I was really looking to really look after and respect the way we brought the characters to life and how elevated they could become. And so for me, it was a wonderful process of taking this material that had been done in all these different sort of media and iterations and doing a big cinematic version of it. So that's what's always in my mind as to how to bring that about. So I loved people's, when they were responding to a lot of those, a lot of the things we put inside it to achieve that goal. And yeah, it was great seeing people's reactions to the trailer when we were deep in post and the trailer came out, and seeing people responding to the things that we'd done was very gratifying. It's great.
What's the challenge of respecting and paying homage to the nostalgia, and there's a ton of it,
Yeah.
while still pushing forward and trying to make something new and your own?
Well, the whole process was a constant balancing act where we were always thinking about multiple things around characters and around specific pieces of lore and specific story points and so forth. So there was a lot of discussion all the time, especially in pre-production as we were designing and trying to bring these characters to life. It just became a sort of a deep dive into. We had this room in pre-production just on the costumes where we had every single iteration we could find of every character, so we could see, because a lot of them have evolved and changed, and there's lots of different versions and so forth. So what we're trying to do is sort of get a through line and work out what the DNA of each of these characters are, but then bring it also, taking those things but bringing it also to a new place so it feels fresh. So it felt like a cinematic rendition of this, but not forgetting those very key characteristics. And things like even Scorpion's breastplate. Because we opened the film in ancient Japan, and we wanted that historical feeling that carries through the story we were telling, and so therefore that informed the way Scorpion's costume ends up becoming. It becomes sort of this Japanese armor. So there were lots of sort of conversations about that, which was fun, which was the real fun of it.
Could you describe your working relationship with Benjamin and what made him the right conductor for this role? Or conductor, or composer?
I'd been, I follow there's a lot of composers' music I really love, and it's a really big and important part of the storytelling process for me. So I've seen and loved Ben's music for quite a few years, and in my mind I'd always thought I would love to work with Ben because of just what he'd done in the past. It was sort of that simple in many ways. And then there's something about the music that he creates. What I'm always searching for is to create an atmosphere and a tone, and to steep an audience in this tone and atmosphere, and then brings that in a very powerful way, a very emotional way. Ben draws emotion out very powerfully, and he's just really good. And then, as it turns out, I was on this track to want to get Ben to do it, and then the guys at New Line had this wonderful history with Ben of all the films he's done there. So it actually, in the end, it became quite easy. And there's, it's quite a funny story that where when the meeting, just before the meeting, when we were first going to meet, I thought I was thinking, right, I've got to pitch this, the way I want to elevate the story and what we're talking about here. And I thought, I've got to, I'm going to have to convince him to do this. And Ben on the other side was doing the same thing. how am I going to convince the director so I can do this? So he did this amazing demo, and we both sort of arrived at this meeting like ready to kind of convince each other, and we both realised, oh great, it was wonderful. And then Ben played this demo, and it was just blew my mind. So it's from that moment it has been a spectacular relationship. What Ben did with the music, I just couldn't be happier, and I'm really excited for the sequel. We've already started talking about different ideas, and it's great.
Thank you very much for your time.
No worries, mate.
Thank you.